wasn't always, but it is now. I'm here today to share my story with you all. It's not very long, I'm only 22, but I hope by the end of it you can take something away with you. To provide some context, I think I should start with my mother. She was the only girl of 6 children in her family, and she desperately longed for a sister. She grew up and started a family of her own, and hoped that she might have a daughter to make up for her scarcity of sisters. Her luck was out on the first child, and my eldest brother was born. The second time around, hope was revived. She believed that this might be the daughter she dreamt of. The day came, and out came a beautiful, bouncing baby boy. So my mother was 0 for 7 at this point, and like any seasoned gambler, she decided to spin the wheel again. However, this time she decided to save herself the post-delivery disappointment and do what any sane person would do in this situation. She went to a fortune teller. She told the fortune teller her plight and was promised that she would have the daughter she dreamt of. So naturally, continuing down the path of doing what any sane person would do, she started making preparations for her daughter. The room was pink, the name was picked, and I think the whole town was prepared for baby Jessica. The time came, everyone was excited, this was the moment, and out I came, thus beginning a long cycle of disappointing my parents. As any ultrasound could have shown at the time, I was born male. My mother decided to stop the gambling and leave it at that, leaving me as the youngest child, and the benefits that came with it. After my peak as Johnson & Johnson's Baby of the Year in 1994, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. The main issues I faced through this were a lack of understanding of things like empathy and social cues. So if you want to come and say hello to me after this, by all means feel free. Just be prepared if I look like a deer in headlights. I found going to a public primary school to be really helpful in practicing my social skills. Even then, without realizing it, I was more comfortable around other women. This was the start of my confusions with gender. I didn't understand why I got on so well with them when none of the other boys did. The main issues came to me in secondary school. From day one, I knew there was something different about myself. But I put this down to the Asperger's syndrome, because I didn't even know the word transgender at the point. Unfortunately, some of the other pupils noticed something different about me too, and as often the case, I was bullied for it. I decided then I wanted to fit in and not isolate myself. I decided I just wanted to be a face in the crowd. I started to like the same music as everyone else, wear the same clothes, follow the same sports, and to be honest, I ended up doing quite well for myself. I made my own group of friends, I competed at national levels in chess and debating, and I ended up getting my first college choice in computer science in UCD. By the time I got to college, I had a bit better understanding of my confusions with gender. But even if I knew I wanted to be a woman, I just didn't think that there was any quality of life there, that this couldn't be something that could be fixed. Eventually, it took its toll on me, and I was diagnosed with depression. I just wasn't happy, and I didn't think I could be. I was left with 2 choices. One was to live with this dysphoria in a body I didn't like and I didn't want, and the other was to risk this exile I had built up in my head of living as a trans woman. As I suppressed it more and more, I became more and more depressed. My attendance at college started to slip. My appearance, I stopped caring about because it wasn't the appearance that I wanted. So why put effort into it? The biggest changes came for me in 2015. The first in April when Caitlyn Jenner came out. While there's certainly a conflict of opinion about her now, I'm thankful that she started the discussion on transgenderism. But I saw her positive reception as a result of fame and fortune, not as something that I could have for myself. But still, there was doubts. Secondly came the marriage equality referendum. This was monumental and proud for our country. To me, it looked like the majority of the population looking at something different and still saying that they were equal. It was massive in starting to tear down this toxic idea I had in my head that being different would ruin my life. The biggest change of all, however, came when I went to Germany last summer. I had the idea in my head that it was quite a progressive country, and since I wouldn't run into anyone I knew there, I might try presenting as female. It was just an idea though, and I wasn't sure. However, on my first night in Cologne, I was out looking for food, and I saw a trans woman. She wasn't up on a pedestal or getting eggs thrown at her, she was just being. She was laughing, joking like any other person. And again, my ideas were being shot down, and I was starting to believe that maybe this life could be possible. I met some wonderful people while in Cologne, including one girl I came out to while under the influence of a few German beers. We traveled on to Berlin together, and while we were there, our tour guide mentioned to us that Berlin was the place where anyone and everyone could be the person they've always wanted to be, and I was sold. I went home, made some changes to my outfit, and came back out as the person I'd always wanted to be. There weren't any fireworks, there was no inspirational music, but it was okay. It was okay. That was all I wanted, for life to go on as normal. When I came home, I almost immediately came out to my parents, and everyone else shortly after. And it was met with almost unanimous support. I wondered why I waited so long to be the person I always wanted to be. In the end, it was this toxic idea from secondary school that held me back. That it was better to fit in as someone I wasn't than to risk isolation for who I really was. But what I've come to realize is that being true to yourself allows for more meaningful relationships and experiences than fitting in ever could. Even being here today, 1 year ago, I could never have imagined this. And even now, I'm still kind of struggling to. It's not perfect, however. There are very, very tough days. But for days like this, when I get to experience life as the person I want to be, it's all worth it. To be fully honest, I don't think the term transitioning fully encompasses what I've gone through. I don't feel I've changed as a person, just accepted the woman I always wanted to be. I'm still a student, I still play football on the weekends, I'm still an avid gamer and I hope to enter the field when I graduate. The biggest change of all is that I'm happy. I wasn't always, but I am now. Thank you.
Enjoy this video from Inspirefest, then click on the link to get your hands on ultra early bird tickets for Inspirefest 2017 and make sure you're in the audience for this exciting international event.